Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. It's Connor here. We're back with another episode from the One Leeds Fan Channel, on the One Leeds Fan Channel, I should say. Please make sure you are hitting a like on the video. Please make sure you're subscribing to the channel. There's 35% of you not subscribed. Why are you not subscribed? Well, maybe it's because I wear a hat a lot of the time, potentially. Maybe it's because you don't know where the subscribe button is. It's just where the join button is, which you can join the YouTube membership, which I can just see Kieran has just done. You can also like the video there, everybody. So make sure you do all that. Good stuff. It's Monday morning. How are we feeling? I'm a little bit jaded. I have to say there's a reason I'm wearing a hat. It's because my hair is having, as they call, a bad hair day, the phrase, just a shocking hair day. There's nothing working today with this Barnet, so I have to shove a hat on. It's not because there's sun in my eyes. I wish there was sun in my eyes. I'm on the dark side of the Pennines, and there's never sun here. So quick shout out to all of you who are in the building. I'm interested to know your thoughts this morning. Interested to know your thoughts on Leeds United's performance. Obviously, we did a lot when it came to the review yesterday, and obviously on Saturday as well. And let us know. Let us know exactly what you think of everything that's going on Leeds United wise. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Is this going to zoom in? I zoomed out a little bit just so you can get my full head in here. Let's get into a few of your comments. Kieran, I'd like to shout you out, my friend. The first member on the YouTube, I should say, on a Monday morning. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much. As I say, guys, the memberships are almost just a if you can't afford to do the patrons per month, the memberships are there. It's only a couple of quid, and it just gives you a little bit of a just a little bit of a thing in terms of just a benefit. I upload to the memberships probably once a week, upload to the patrons at least 5 times a week, including 3 podcasts. So just a little bit of a sort of one-up for you guys there. Nice this morning, Connor, from a freezing LS12. It is absolutely freezing, my friend. It is. You're bang on. Debrief tonight, Lofts. It will be tomorrow, my friend. If you've not noticed so far, the debriefs are sort of on Tuesdays. This is sort of where we're going with it, really. And the reason we're doing debriefs on Tuesdays is because invariably Leeds are going to start playing on Tuesdays. So we have the debrief sort of in and around Tuesday, Wednesday, and we have the preview shows on sort of Mondays, and I want to keep that consistent as well. So it's difficult having it on the Monday. We might move it to a weekend slot. There is potential. We've been discussing that. So hit the like if you'd like to see the debrief on the weekend. Hey Connor, mate, as well. Defenders, do we still need a striker? Do we stick with Perot and Bamford? Good question, mate. We'll get into that, of course. Hair implants are tricky things. Buzzing with the performance, says Phil. Connor, but we should have scored more. I agree, Phil. I mean, I've said this plenty of times. It was, for me, I was really, really enthused with what I saw. For me, it was the away performance of the season. There's a lot of people quoting Leicester, and listen, I'm firmly on the point that Leicester was a very, very good performance as well, and I've stated that multiple times. But I think it was just so dominant at the weekend. There was a little bit of a spell, wasn't there, against Leicester, where Leicester were in the game. Leicester are a completely different opposition when it comes to Cardiff City. But if you are talking from moment 1 to moment 90, where the opposition have any momentum whatsoever, I felt, the weekend was the away performance of the season. I thought there was better performances individually across the board than there was against Leicester across the board. Kamara, Gray, Firpo, Bamford, James, across the board, it was just really, really good. Sai says, another live, Connor, I'm getting good at this now. Yes, mate, 100%. Hi, Connor from Australia. Hi, pal. Get the hat off. No, Liam. No. I want to see your face, Liam. You've got, there's no face next to you, lad. No face. I need to see this face. I need to see. Listen, mate, when you're having a bad hair day, the hat has to go on. It's for you guys. Don't want to see me looking like a strange individual, which I can be doing. Stephen, what do I say? Member of the Patreon, and thank you so much, buddy. Morning, Connor. Caught my first generation on Patreon yesterday. Very impressed with your dad, mate. Carry on the great work. Well, the Generation Leeds may be in person. Maybe in person. We are going home to do a little bit of filming today, so hopefully we get the big man on a live one on the sofa, getting you guys back to the OG days. Okay, so let's get into a few of the bits that I wanted to talk about today. So You can see on the YouTube title there that I've spoken about another senior exit. It's becoming increasingly likely. Phil Hayes mentioned it. The athletic lads have mentioned it, and you're getting it across the journalism world. Really, I got told to keep an eye out on this one on Friday. Liam Cooper potentially leaving this window. Now I say potentially, and it's very up in the air, isn't it? But Cooper will, in my opinion, be looking at exactly what Luke Ayling's just done. Luke Ayling's played 90 minutes for a very decent championship side with very decent potential, a very decent manager, chairman, whatever, decent players around as well. And he'll be thinking, Luke Ayling got those 90 minutes, and his best mate in Liam Cooper will have 100% had chats with Luke and potentially had even, chats with other clubs at this moment in time. We don't know. We only know at the last minute. But yeah, as I say, by a very, very, very good source, I got told to keep an eye on it with the rest of the January window. Things have got to fall into place. The dominoes have got to fall, of course. But Cooper is one who, in my opinion, could move on this January, because Leeds are in a position right now where they can't exactly just say, right, you're staying because of experience, you're staying, you're just staying and we're keeping you on the bench. If he's got that potential of first team football. And why do I say that? Well, I say that because a lot of us would have turned around and said the exact same thing with Luke Ayling, and it does come down to options. Of course it comes down to options. It depends on what happens with Charlie Cresswell. If Cresswell then goes and Cooper goes, we're looking at a scenario where it is literally Rodon and Strauch and Ampadu. But with this manager and what we saw with Gruev at the weekend, I would not be surprised if this week, in the next couple of weeks, you see Liam Cooper leaving the club. I think in reserve, we have now got an option where Daniel Farke has seen what Gruev's been like, where he was extremely impressive at the weekend. He's seen what Gruev's been like against in a tough game. Cardiff is a tough game. I don't care what anybody says. You look on the fixture list at the start of the season, you see Cardiff away. Leeds have always had problems there. They've always been a bit of a bogey team for us in the Championship. Gruev goes in the midfield, and now we literally have a player in Ethan Ampadu who has not only played centre-back for Spezia, Venezia and Sheffield United, but he's also a player who Daniel Farke, we all know, has his favourites, and he is one of Daniel Farke's favourites. I thought he was very, very good at the weekend, I have to say, Ethan Ampadu, on the left-hand side of that back two. And for me, it feels like we are shedding a lot this window. I did not expect Spence to go and then Luke Ayling to go. I really didn't. I thought they might keep hold of Ayling for experience. Spence, obviously, we didn't expect. There is a likelihood this window that Leeds literally do not replace anyone in that right-back sphere. There's talk of Ben Johnson, but it's very fleeting. Is it going to happen? Lots of discussion about Coventry leaving West Ham, who, by the way, is a homegrown player. I have to put that in there. I know people are saying he's Irish, but he is homegrown. So for me, if Cooper was to move on, if Cresswell was to move on, that wouldn't be an issue for Daniel Farke, in my opinion. And I feel that's where I think we're at right now. And I think the weekend, obviously with Cresswell being out the side, completely out the squad when he was injury-free, evidence is that really. So one to keep an eye on, in my opinion, throughout the entire of January is going to be Liam Cooper. Because I think Liam Cooper is going to... And that's a snippet I'd put in there. As I say, Friday, it was 2:43 p.m. Asked the question, got told to keep an eye on Liam Cooper. So yeah, would not surprise me if he almost follows that blueprint. Luke Ayling played 90 minutes for Borough at the weekend. Why on earth would Liam Cooper not want to do something similar? We know Coops has got more of a connection with the club in being a fan, like, childhood fan and all this sort of stuff. But he's got to think about his career. He's on the same trajectory as Luke Ayling as well. He'll have seen Luke Ayling at the weekend, and it can be as simple as that. Can be as simple as that. Football transfers can be a simple game as well. We've just seen Eric Dyer go to Bayern Munich. Do Bayern Munich need Eric Dyer? No. Why do Bayern Munich? Why have they signed Eric Dyer? Because Harry Kane wants a mate. It's as simple as that. They do not need Harry Kane. They've got an elite centre-back partnership. They are now looking at another elite centre-back. for the Dutch leagues, I believe it is Sensal or something like that. I can't quite remember his name. I'll have to do a bit of research on him. But do they need Eric Dyer at what, 32, 30? No, they don't. They're buying a mate for Harry Kane. That's what they're doing. They're good friends. Now, I'm not saying Borough are going to do that with Liam Cooper and Luke Kane. They're in a very different position. But what I will say is when you do look at that whole scenario, football can be a really simple game. Liam wants minutes. Leeds let him go for a loan spell, and then he gets signed. His contract's over at the end of the season. And this really puts the emphasis on Leeds United buying defenders and making that a priority. Thomas says, disagree with that massively. Fair enough, Tom. Any reason? Let me know, please. So please, for Georgie getting his goal, love him in the tent. Yeah, mate, I think we all did. I was at Cardiff. Shout out to you, Lee. It was like a training game. We didn't have to get out of second gear. I agree with that, mate. Good afternoon, Connor. Hope you had a great day. Hope you have a great day, mate. Just want to say thank you for all the content lately. Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate that. And there will be another video out tonight as well. We'll have loads tomorrow. Daryl, I've noticed you, buddy. Hi, Connor, new member and Patreon member from Latchington, Essex. I think you messaged me on Facebook, didn't you, mate? Sorry, I'm not great with Facebook. If you guys ever want to message me, Instagram and Twitter are the way forward. I'm terrible with Facebook. Was not expecting 3-0 at Cardiff. Thought it was going to be a struggle, to be honest. Heard quite a weird one at the weekend from South London. We sniffing at Alfie May. Good player and definitely. I don't know about that, Ricky. Alfie May, bloody hell. Where is Alfie May at now? Let's have a quick look. God, where is he? Charlton. Okay. 30 years of age. I don't know, mate. I'm not sure about that one. Connor doesn't weaken us if Cooper goes and if Cresswell's gone also. And then it doesn't replace us. Yep, fair enough. Shout out to Ricky, new member of the channel. Hi, Sujal. Hope you're having a good time in Sri Lanka, mate. I reckon Cooper might want to stick it out till the end. Give us the end to get us up, even if his influence is only off the pitch. You guys could be right. As I say, I'm speculating. Just got told just got told that sort of information on Friday. As I say, it's all up in the air. It's just rumours, but this is what this channel is. It's this show is, I should say, the Room Mill. That's all it's based on. We're just talking rumours. So yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting stuff. Just a diet to Bayern. Kim Min-jae's at the Asian Cup, and they've only got 2 centre halves at first team. Yeah, Tom, but the longevity of Eric Dyer being at the club. He's not good enough for Spurs. There's nowhere near he's good enough for Bayern Munich. And I believe they're after a player called Sensal as well. I'm pretty sure they're close to signing him. And apparently he's unbelievable. Next level defender. I can't profess to have watched him, seen a lot of him, but the reports this morning in The Guardian, The Independent, when you're looking at Bayern Munich, are that he is going to be the next big thing. So Eric Dyer just doesn't make that much sense, to be honest with you. Looking sharp this morning. Thanks, Benny. Don't agree with that, mate. According to Wacko, we're making our first signing today. Hard to believe, but it's called almost every transfer in the last window. Yeah, so it'll be a fascinating one, everybody. It'll be a fascinating one to see how this one works out when it comes to Liam Cooper. But with what you saw at the weekend, the big thing for me was, I wonder, if longevity-wise, if for Daniel Farke, Ethan Ampadu would even be an option on that left-hand side of the centre-back partnership over Liam Cooper. I couldn't believe how good he was with his left foot. I'll be honest with you. Now, the issue for Leeds United would be if you came up against the side who pressed Ethan Ampadu. Because then if an opposition striker, winger, whatever, is pressing you, then you are rushed into making that left foot pass. That left foot pass is your weaker side. Also, on top of that, it's an emergency ball, isn't it? You're going to rush that pass. And I thought Cardiff didn't involve any sort of a press on Leeds. I think Leeds have struggled away from home when they've been pressed. Cardiff didn't do that. So, yeah, going to be really interesting to see if Ampadu can do that under some severe pressure, which I think championship sides, the better championship sides, will put under us, really. Let's have a look at some other rumours this morning, everybody. So, why does it say on the channel, Wilder versus Farke again? So, we're speaking about the centre-back side of things. Chris Mepham is someone who we've been interested in on. We are interested in, I can tell you that. David Brooks, someone who we are interested in. Kiefer Moore has gone off the boil a little bit. Obviously, with what's happened to Patrick Bamford, the influence is obviously there in terms of his minutes at Leeds, where he's been very, very good at the minute. 3 goals in 3 gives Leeds a little bit of a different dimension systematically. In my opinion, he's not going to be leaving Leeds. Brooks, Mepham make complete sense. Premier League players makes complete sense. Us going out and getting players of that calibre. There would be 2 terrific signings. Really, really, really good signings. Would love to see David Brooks through the building. I think that'd be a top signing. I think that'd put the Championship on note. I think Rothwell, Joe Rothwell going from Bournemouth to Southampton on loan is a proper signing. I think that's a really, really good signing. Blackburn, he was very, very good, got his move, and once again for Bournemouth, I think he's been decent when he's played as well. So Rothwell, Southampton getting him on loan. We've seen Travis go to Blackburn. We've seen Travis go from Blackburn to Ipswich. We've seen Sarmiento go from Brighton, obviously on loan at West Bromwich Albion, but go from Brighton as the parent club to Ipswich. So the teams in the rounders are making moves. And we've seen that. I thought Rothwell was a really underrated signing from Southampton. It seems to go under the radar as well, that one this over the weekend. So, yeah, Leeds, in my opinion, it's not just about strengthening, but it is reacting in a strange sort of way as well to the other team strengthening. If you can do it bit part, if you can strengthen and react to their signings as well, then it's perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone. But the Chris Mepham signing and David Brooks would sort us out, in my opinion, and that would be a building block to Leeds doing, several other transfers in the summer months, which would sort us out. But yeah, I like those signings very, very much. So when it comes to Chris Mepham, the reason I'm mentioning Chris Wilder is right now, Chris Mepham, this is absolutely typical, literally looks like Basham, Chris Basham. He's the spitting image of him. And it looks like Wilder wants Mepham. So this is where Leeds are going to find a few problems. Naturally, we've seen it before that when Premier League clubs are interested in players, and we've seen it in the summer months as well when it's come to like Aaron's, obviously, who went to Bournemouth instead of being at Leeds United when we were literally close to signing on the dotted line. When a Premier League club comes in, the player will always go there. It'll always happen. Literally 9.9 times out of 10, unless you've got that 0.1 variable, which never happens. So Mepham to Leeds, I genuinely think that'd be a colossal signing. I think 6'5", 90 kg, big lad, knows the Championship well, dominant in the air. Imagine him next to Rodon, or him next to Strauch. It'd be really interesting. But the thing is, what Leeds are facing now, I know a lot of you guys in the chat will be saying, well, Connor, what about Mepham? What about Bar? What about blah, 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 blah? Well, the issue is right now, if you're Leeds United, you can't guarantee the minutes. They can't guarantee Cresswell minutes. They can't guarantee Cooper minutes. So how on earth is Chris Mepham going to come into Leeds United and be guaranteed minutes? He's not. And the weird thing about this is he's probably guaranteed more minutes at Sheffield United because their centre-back partnership isn't as solidified as ours is. There's a reason they're after a centre-back. We're after a centre-back almost to challenge Rodon and Strauch and to maybe sort of replace the likes of Cresswell and potentially Cooper. That's what we're looking at. Sheffield United need a centre-back now, and they're in the Premier League. So this is where the difficulty comes. Leeds are almost in a fortunate position when it comes to Pascal Strauch. He's a wonderful defender. Joe Rodon, obviously, he's been brilliant in the Championship. But if you're looking at Chris Mepham now, what can we offer him? Well, you can challenge the front 2, but we can't guarantee you minutes. Wilder and Sheffield United might be able to turn around and say, yeah, you'll fit in. You'll slot in. You'll play more minutes than you'll do at Leeds. And why I put Wilder versus FARKE again is they've had some ding-dongs when it's Sheffield United versus Norwich. So maybe it's Wilder versus Chris Wilder versus Daniel FARKE again when it comes to the signing of a real top in terms of our squad standards centre-back. So, yeah, morning MW. Get your comments in the section below. First time I've been able to catch a stream since I'm in the US. Oh my God, shout out to you, Sam. 2 home games coming up. We need to maintain our home record to keep the pressure up. Yeah, I think we'll see a couple in this week. We do, mate. We need to. Daryl says, can you give a shout out to my cousin Steve Drake from Wakefield? He's unemployed and can't afford to join. He watches all the time. Shout out to you, Steve. Really appreciate it, mate, and hope things turn around to you. I hope things turn around for you really soon, mate. I think Wacko's implying either Johnson or Barisic. Supposedly talks were held with West Ham on Saturday afternoon whilst we were trouncing at Cardiff. Yeah, there's a lot of rumours. There is a lot of rumours about Ben Johnson. Barisic is it would be an easy one to do, especially right now. Barisic will have offers in the summer months. His contract will run out in the summer. But right now, it'd be a good one to get done in terms of getting ahead of the pack. So yeah, it'd be really exciting. I hope we do get a deal done, Dave. If we do get a deal done today, everybody, we're going to have content. It's going to be very exciting because Leeds need a bloody fullback. I'm praying we get fullbacks in. But once again, it's going to be interesting because across the board, we've spoken here about Cooper. We've spoken here about Cresswell. We've spoken a bit about Rodon. Stroud. How can you guarantee Ben Johnson minutes? How can you guarantee Ben Johnson minutes when you have, and I'm being serious here, everybody, when you've got the likes of Firpo, Byram, and Archie Gray? Because me and you will turn around and say, well, Ben Johnson surely walks into this side. Surely. Borna Barisic surely walks into this side. And we're all looking at Cardiff. We're all looking at Peterborough, Birmingham as litmus tests. But how can you guarantee Mepham? How can you guarantee Brooks? Is there any position in this starting 11, because Leeds are so consistent with this starting 11, where you can guarantee a player minutes? You can't. So it's interesting how Leeds are going to sell Leeds United to a potential player. A loan, a transfer. It's really interesting. And this is why Fabio Carvalho didn't get done. Because Leeds can't guarantee him minutes in that cam role. So could they guarantee David Brooks minutes there? And this is the difficulty they're probably facing right now. They've probably really got to negotiate with these players. And the reason I mentioned Byram and Firpo, everybody, is because Daniel Farke loves them. He absolutely loves Sam Byram. I think he's a big fan of Junior Firpo. You know? And I think, look, every manager does. Every manager does, 100%. But I think it's evident with Farke, it was evident with him at Norwich, that he has his favourites. Byram's his favourite, one of his favourites. Archie Gray. He sees Archie Gray as the Aarons mould. He brought Aarons through at Norwich and moulded him, and he always went on about Aarons and how brilliant he is and all this sort of stuff. He's doing the same thing with Archie Gray. You know, he's doing the exact same thing with Archie Gray. So does Archie even come out of right back? This is the whole thing. This is where I'm sort of like changing my thought process with it. I think we need these players, but what will Daniel Farke do? And this is what we're talking about right now when it comes to the 49ers and the hierarchy at Leeds, probably wanting players in, but Daniel Farke has been like, almost giving it the Bielsa-isms, and he is not Bielsa, by the way. Not even an inch on Marcelo Bielsa, but similarities do sort of collide when it comes to stubbornness. And certain personality who wants and who he doesn't want. Hit the like button. Yeah, that'd be great, everyone, if you could do that. Thank you so much. Connor Roberts walks into this side. Yeah. But does he? Shout out, Joe. I've not had a look there, mate. How do you assess Farke at the halfway marker within a season? I don't know. How do you? Barisic is 31 years old. Yeah, I guess it's experience, isn't it, though? He doesn't walk into the team, though, over Firpo, but no one else. Right. Okay. Fair enough. So okay. So just are we of the opinion that if we are to get someone in, and let's say hypothetically Sam Byram is our starting left back, does he just start week in, week out then? So is everybody, let's say hypothetically, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. Let's say we signed Borna Barisic, right? A left-footed player who's played in Europe and all this sort of stuff. He's 31 years of age, bags full of experience. There's lots of Turkish, Spanish, French clubs in for him in the summer months. So let's say hypothetically we sign Borna Barisic today. He's the signing that we get in first as a left back, right? We sign him. In the chat, would you still have Sam Byram starting ahead of him? We're playing hypotheticals right now. Would you still have Sam Byram starting ahead of him? And if so, why? Is my question. Okay, so Brian said here, Byram has been next to faultless when he's played. Why is it a problem if he's a favourite, if you can't pick him when he's injured and it's only his fault? Well, because in my opinion, systematically, when we're talking about Sam Byram's a right footer. Sam Byram on an interview earlier on with, earlier on this season, has said that he's a right back. That's his preferred position. Now, he doesn't mind playing left back, but he's a right-sider. So my point is, when you're playing, the difference between... If he's fit, if you're asking me, who do you pick, Junior Firpo or Sam Byram, if they're both fit, it's Firpo every day. Because he's a left-footed left back. So if Sam Byram's cutting in and inverting constantly, which he is, he cannot get the ball. And I presume all of you have played the game. All of you have played the game. If you receive the ball with an open body stance going onto your left foot, that's going to be more advantageous when you're getting up the pitch and getting up the pitch quicker, even when pressed. You can bypass a press, you can open your body up, you can surge forward on that left-hand side, or you can surge forward on that right-hand side. If you're consistently inverting, because your strongest foot is your right foot and you're on the left-hand side, that narrows the side's play. And this has happened with Sam Byram at multiple points this season when Leeds United have come up against a pressy side, especially against Stoke City and Sunderland. So if he's inverting all the time, systematically, that makes Leeds narrower and more predictable, and it's easier to play against Leeds. Much easier. Just because he puts in a big tackle every now and again, and listen, I'm not downplaying how well he's done this season, but I do think there is a little bit of a lean on Sam Byram when it comes to a lot of Leeds fans because of sentiment. He's an all right player. He will not follow us into the Premier League, and if he does, he's going to be a bench option. He's consistently injured, never dependable or reliable whatsoever. And when he's on the pitch, he's all right until he's pressed. But because he's on the wrong side, when he's pressed, he struggles. So if you're giving me an option of Junior Firpo or Sam Byram, and if they're both fully fit for the entire season, who am I choosing in the Championship? It's Firpo all day. All day and all night. For me, that's my opinion. Smash the like, lads. Yeah, shout out to you. It's not Ryan. It's not wild whatsoever, mate. It's not. And why is Byram triple the defender as Firpo is? What's that based on, mate? Listen, I'm not saying Junior Firpo is now suddenly. I'm not going back on what I've said about Junior Firpo. I'm not doubling down. I think Junior Firpo is average. He's average at best. But Sam, let's not start talking about Sam Byram as if he's next level. He's not. In my opinion, anyway. When I'm watching the game, he's not. He gets caught a lot when he's under pressure, and on that left hand side, he can barely get forward unless he's literally just charging on overlap and he hasn't got the ball at his feet. With the ball at his feet, he's no good on that left hand side whatsoever. He's no good. He can't do it. You always need a left-footed left back for me to have balance. That's why, in my opinion, Farke's completely wrong when he talks about balance. That makes no sense. There's balance when Firpo's out there, 100%, but there's not balance when Byram's out there. That makes no sense because we're inverting all the time. We're narrowing our play. It's easy to defend against us. That's sort of where I am, mate. That's where I am, Stephen. No, Byram is the exact type of player I'd love to have in the squad if needed, not to start. Junior's problems remain. Hard teaching, new dog, old tricks. Done great the last couple of weeks, but still brittle as hell. And positional error. Yeah, I agree. 100% positional errors. That's what I'm saying, though. I'm not holding Sam Byram to a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 player. There's problems with them both. We know that. But I'm always having a left back on the left-hand side over a right-footed left back. And I am, unless he's a top player. But even if we look at the season, let's say hypothetically when Stuart Dallas was under Marcelo Bielsa, and I'm being very, very specific here, but Stuart Dallas under Marcelo Bielsa, when he was just unbelievable as a right-sided player on that left-hand side, Stuart Dallas had a better left foot. A better left foot, in my opinion, than Sam Byram. He utilised his left side way more than Sam Byram does. Byram's always inverting, always inverting. Dallas would open his body and he'd test himself a little bit. In my opinion, he was way more successful with it. Now, that could be because of the style of play, of course, but I still think Farke does encourage the fullbacks to get forward. Morning, Connor. Just got in here. Shout out, Super Joe. Shout out. Firpo all day long. Yeah, and there's people who are talking about Byram, and that's absolutely fine. It's just my opinion. Hi, Connor. I keep on about Leeds. There is so much room for promotion. I agree, Steve. I agree. Have to agree with Sujal. Competition for spots is not only good, but healthy. Pushes players to be consistent. I agree with you, mate. I agree. Yeah, let's look at the Sinisterra type of thing. Anyway, we need to have a look at that. So the reason I put 25 million quid, there's reports this morning that are not damning's a harsh word, but are looking at Jayden Anthony and, you know, almost stating that he's not happy at the minute. Now, it's just reports, few reports. But there is also significant reports saying that Leeds may give SINISTERRA another chance. Now, this spiked a lot of controversy when I came on here and said what I said not long ago. But there is apparently, according to, and I'll follow it up, but according to a few reports this morning saying that Leeds are mulling, using the word mulling, over recalling SINISTERRA. Apparently Leeds have the option to recall him and they are mulling over it right now. Now, I couldn't care less about what's happened with SINISTERRA. I couldn't care less. If we're getting a Ferrari / Lamborghini back in this division, but we've had a few problems with the car, you know, it's needed his exhaust fit, but we've had it fit and all this sort of stuff, I couldn't care less. Get the Ferrari in the division and let's get up this division. Let's leave this division. Leeds right now, in my opinion, if this is true, this is the rumour mill. If this is true, have the option of essentially, if he's on board, bringing back the best player in the Championship. And that's including Rutter and Somerville. You've got the option of bringing back someone like SINISTERRA and putting him into the starting 11. And we're talking about, you know, a lot of the time, minutes and all this sort of stuff. And I just think SINISTERRA walks in. And I think FARKE knows SINISTERRA walks in as well. You saw his team selection at the start of the season when SINISTERRA was in every side. I know it wasn't a lot, not a big sample size, but SINISTERRA is the best player in the Championship when he plays. He's not getting a lot of minutes. I think he's got 450 at Bournemouth. Jayden Anthony, what is the point in having Jayden Anthony at the football club? Daniel FARKE literally brings him on. I think it's wrong. Even like, you know, when we're winning games and you know, when we need games to change, about when he actually brings on Jayden Anthony and Willie Gnonto, I've got a little bit of a problem with in terms of his time management of these players, especially with Willie, with the quality he is. But Jayden Anthony, there's no point in him being at the club. I don't see the benefit right now of him being at the club, what Leeds are getting out of it and what Bournemouth and what Anthony's getting out of it. I look at SINISTERRA, what is he getting out of that? What are Leeds getting out of that? What are Bournemouth? Leeds aren't conveying their player on the Premier League stage because he's not playing. So that's what Leeds would have thought initially anyway. They'd have thought, we're going to get some money back on him here because we're giving him to Bournemouth and they'll be playing him, week out. That's not happening, right? So what's the player getting out of it? What are Leeds getting out of it? What are Bournemouth getting out of it? So on both sides, right now, this deal makes no sense. It makes no sense. So if we're to mull, and this brings another question in, if he is to come back, you know, are you bothered by it? Snake, blah, blah, blah. Yep, okay. Fair enough. And what he did was worse than what any of the Leeds players did. I mean, he was willing to take the club to court. But I said this on a previous video. Use him. Use him. Doesn't have to be an emotional attachment. Doesn't have to be sentiment here, aligned. There doesn't. Use his ability to get us up the division. Just use it. We don't have to go and start singing SINISTERRA. Don't have to, you know. Some fans, I doubt, would even clap him off the pitch if he came back. If he was being substituted or whatever, or you know, if he left at the end of the game after scoring a hat-trick. But let's not all pretend everybody was saying the same when Willie Gnonto refused to play for the club. And his agent was spouting out and touting him out to other clubs. They weren't as public. They were not as public as SINISTERRA was. But Gnonto was still doing everything behind the scenes to get a move. And now fans have forgotten him. Have forgiven him. Some have forgotten him. But the large majority have forgiven him. Now, this might not be the case with SINISTERRA because he went the extra mile. According to some fans, which, you know, fair play. That's what we got to know about it. But I don't care. I've got no emotional attachment to SINISTERRA. I've got no emotional attachment whatsoever. If he scored for Leeds, would I celebrate? Of course, because he plays for my club and we've scored a goal. But would I... If you're asking me right now, who would I rather have in our squad? Jayden Anthony or SINISTERRA? It's SINISTERRA all day. So if they are to exercise that right, and if Leeds are apparently, if that is correct in us mulling over that signature, as in signature I should say, it will be like a new signing, won't it? But bringing him back into the fold, I'm well up for it. Let me know what you guys think. Really interested on this one. Yeah, keep getting your thoughts in, everybody. There's over 700 of you in the building. Phil says, morning, Connor, I'd have Sini back in, no problem. Sini better than Anthony, and Willie says, Leeds, Sini over not. This is interesting, Rich. So now it's another conversation, isn't it? It's another conversation. The irony in what could happen here. If Nonto's to leave, do Leeds then need to go out and get another replacement? Can dialogue be had with Sinisterra and his agent? You come back for 6 months, try your best, advertise yourself, because he's not advertising himself right now. If you're Sinisterra, why would you not want to come back to Leeds right now, be part of a promotion bill, a promotion campaign, score 8 goals, get 12 assists, and literally go to the Premier League and go, look what I've just done in the Championship. I'm better than this. Look what I've done. And that's essentially what he was doing in the summer. But there was no real proof in the pudding. He'd been injured. He'd been this, that, and the other. There'd been, a few disputes with him at Leeds at that moment in time. He wasn't really able to get that consistency, that momentum. He's still not getting consistency and momentum in his career right now. Is a club going to take another chance on him right now? Well, no, because his portfolio in the Premier League is not great right now. He's had 450 minutes. In those 450 minutes, by the way, in some of those, he's looked very good, if you've caught any of those. But if he comes back to Leeds, he's going to be playing, in my opinion, week in, week out. Might take him 2 or 3 games to get into it, but we know he's going to get in. And then he turns round to a Premier League club, La Liga club, Liga club, Serie A club. We're not here to talk about Sinisterra's career because we're Leeds United, but we do have an influence in it. If Louis Sinisterra comes back, bangs in however many goals, goal contributors, and imagine if he gets us up. But where we're all worried right now, and I know you are, because I am, if we're to get into those playoffs, I tell you what, I'd rather have Sinisterra than anybody else, because that is just quality. Absolute quality. And if we're to face a Sunderland, if we're to face whoever it may be, Hull, Ipswich, if we are in the playoffs, worst case scenario, you'd rather have Sinisterra there with you, 100%, quality-wise, in my opinion. If it helps with promotion, says Daryl, I'm all for it. Ferrari at the bottom end gone. Hopefully FARKE doesn't develop a reputation for underusing loanees. That reputation could stick to us even after FARKE exit. Yeah, shout out Ricky. Just joined the memberships as well. Yeah, but I don't disagree with that. We forgave Nonto, says Sujal. So more than happy to do the same for Sini. I 100% agree with you, Connor. Richard, we agree on something. Phil, hey Phil, I'd have Sini back, no problem. Rewarding a guy who dumped us on the last day. Gav, I agree with you, mate. It's not rewarding him as such. He's coming down a level again, which he doesn't want to do. I think we all know that. He wants to be playing Premier League football. But my whole point, Gav, is why would you not, and mind my French, I don't swear a lot, but use the shit out of him and then get rid of him for a heightened value because he's produced more effective goal contributions in the Championship, which he's not doing in the Premier League. He needs to build a portfolio now for us to sell him on for an increased value to what we bought him for. We want to make profit, ideally. He's still our asset. Jack Harrison's our asset. What's the difference between Jack Harrison and Sinisterra? Who's the better footballer? Sinisterra, by a country mile. What's the difference between them both? One's playing, one's not. And believe it or not, everybody, Jack Harrison, you speak to any Everton fan, it's the same thing. I'll keep him in there because his goals and assists are decent, and his goal, but he's so inconsistent. His momentum, some game he'll have 2 games in it, 2 games off it, in it, 2 games off it. Exactly what we'd all say. Hot and cold Harrison. Sinisterra, we all know in every game he was there if he was fit. Jack was more dependable in terms of fitness, but the better player was always Sinisterra. So we've got assets. So the whole thing what Leeds need to do is build those assets up so we can either use them or we can sell them. So right now we are getting there is nothing on SINISTERRA that's building his value. You get him back down to the Championship. Leeds get a top player at this level. You build his portfolio, bin him off in the summer. Using the player for our advantage. Smart. Not just saying, well, F him. He didn't play for Leeds. He don't like Leeds. What's that going to do? What's that going to do? That's not beneficial for anyone. That's why they worked out the Nonto situation. Because it's not beneficial for anyone. Use him. And we might sell him this window. But wouldn't it be hilarious if we then brought SINISTERRA back to replace Nonto? And we can do that without spending any money. Comments. Keep any comments in, everyone. Yeah, he might not want to come back, mate. He might not want to come back. Ricky says completely agree. I've never seen Byram struggled when pressed. Check out Leris against Stoke, who pressed him into oblivion and targeted Byram. Then look at Will Smallbone and Adam Armstrong, who utilised the specific press to get the ball off Sam Byram. There you go. Check out the Stoke and Southampton games in particular. Just thinking about those off the top of the dome. There's many more, trust me, when Byram's at the back. Presses him, he can't handle it. And I don't blame Byram for that because he's in the wrong position. Don't blame him. You make a good argument, Connor, but yeah, he won't want to come back. Wayne says you wanted to sell an asset, you put it to a shop window, not keep him squirreled away in the stock room, get him back, chuck him in the side alongside Rutter, watch the sparks fly. Do you remember Ipswich away? Guys, Ipswich away with SINISTERRA, Nonso, was it? I think Somerville was on the bench, there was James in there and Perot. Do you remember how funny that was for about 30, 40 minutes? When Leeds literally should have scored about 10 goals. When SINISTERRA was just twisted. Do you remember SINISTERRA against Brandon Williams? Do you remember that? This is what we're talking about. Brandon Williams would be classified as a decent Championship fullback. Do you remember what SINISTERRA did to him? It was just embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. And that's what we know SINISTERRA can do. You know, if anyone was going to keep us up in the Prem last year, it was him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but 100%, I agree with a lot of what you're all saying. It's who comes out, and I'm not disputing that. Haven't been keeping an eye on Bomb for Sini not getting a lot of minutes there. No, mate, 450 minutes to be specific. Right, guys, well, we're going to leave it there. This is the first time I've gone above 30 minutes on a Rumour. We've done a 45er, so shout out to you. Please make sure you join the YouTube memberships. It's been a very controversial one. I didn't expect it this morning. Shout out to Ryan. Really appreciate your comeback. I enjoy that, mate, the subjectivity of football. Shout out all the supporters as well. And Ryan is a supporter as well. But shout out to all of you who constantly support the channel. Please, before you leave this morning, leave a like on the channel. We'll have loads for you out this week. We've got podcasts tomorrow, day after, and the day after that on Patreon. £4 a month, £2 a month to join the YouTube memberships as well. Just hit the join button there and let's get ready for a proper week. Hopefully today we'll make a signing. If we do make a signing, trust, stick with One Leeds and I'll have all of your reaction to that. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you so much for sitting out with One Leeds and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.